Hello, welcome to the Washington County Museum of Fine Arts Earth Day Special. I'm Kelly Neely, and today we've got a special program for you. If you'd like to follow along, we're going to be creating a sustainable art project, and we're going to be taking a little hike, a little adventure into the forest. We're going to take a few minutes and look at something that will inspire us for our art project from the Washington County Museum of Fine Arts Permanent Collection. And we're also going to get a chance to speak to a forestry technician. She's going to help us identify some of the wildlife and nature that we find on the forest floor and help us understand what we're looking at before we add it to our art project. So before we get started, I do want us to take a look at a very special piece of artwork because we're going to use this as kind of the base of the art project. So what we're looking at here is a rosewater sprinkler, and it was created by Louis Comfort Tiffany. This was created during the Art Nouveau movement between like 1890 and 1910. During this time, artists and architects and people in the design world really looked to nature for their inspiration. So what perfect art movement to look at when we are celebrating Earth Day. So as we're looking at it, we see a very flowy form, or we call that organic when something's kind of has a flow to it. It doesn't have a lot of hard edges. So it's got a flowy form, and it is inspired by the way plants grow. We see some designs in that glass there. A rosewater sprinkler probably wouldn't be something that you would use to hold a bouquet. Some people, some different cultures around the world actually use rosewater sprinklers to welcome guests, and they might sprinkle some rosewater to make people feel refreshed, to smell really nice as they walk into a new area, a new location. And we're going, though, to be using this rosewater sprinkler as our inspiration for the design part of our project. So I'm gonna grab a piece of cardboard. I'm just gonna take it apart from a box, and I'm gonna cut a rectangle out from it, and I'm gonna go ahead and spend a minute just quickly drawing that little vase there, or something like it, on my cardboard. So we're going to go ahead and dive in here. And I know mine's not gonna look exactly like the rosewater spritzer, but I'm going to use that organic flow shape. I'm going to leave a little space here at the top because we're gonna add something special to that soon. And first I'm going to draw the mouth of the vase. Then I'm gonna come down like this, and I'm gonna give it some smooth lines here, give it a little curve, and I'm gonna go like that. Now, it's pretty simple, pretty plain. There's no right or wrong to it. I do want to leave a little space here, and you'll see why soon. I'm going to spend a little time decorating, and I can do just some pretty little designs around the top. And maybe I go like this. And then maybe I add some darker lines here. And then maybe I add some swirls here, flowy organic. Maybe I turn them into almost like the fiddleheads we might see in the forest. And I can keep going and keep decorating. My next step is to step outside. So I'm gonna take you with me as I go on a little hike, and we're going to meet a friend there. So I'll see you in a few minutes. When we get back also, we can finish decorating. See you soon. We're here with Jordan Houston. She is a forestry technician and the founder of Wild Wanderers. Hi, Jordan.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. Jordan's going to help us identify some of our great finds today. Go ahead, Jordan. Show us what you found.
Yeah, so we were going to start with this red maple over here. We were looking at this one because it has some leaves on it that we can see. So one way I can tell a red maple is just by the leaves. It kind of comes to 3 points here, if you want to get close and look. And also before the leaves come out, the tips will be a red color, the buds will be a red color, so that's normally a dead giveaway. It also may have been like a stump sprout from this tree, and it's probably going to be hard to tell on the camera, but they'll tend to look rough and then get smooth up at the top, so that's also a way you can identify it. On the ground, we were looking at these May apples. I have no identification characteristics other than they just look like that. What else here? Where's that plant? Oh, right there. This plant is really cool. This is a rattlesnake plantain. Obviously you can't feel it, but it feels kind of like rubbery. It's just such a cool plant. Sometimes it will grow like in these big clumps, and the white veins, it's just so different looking and really catches your eye when you're along the trail. This big guy is a northern red oak. One way that you definitely know it's a red oak, these right in here, we call them ski trails, but they're just the lines in the bark. And you can see how they start the whole way at the top of the tree, and then they run the whole way down to the bottom. So that's how you know it's a red oak. It can easily be confused with a scarlet oak, but a scarlet oak will break off into these blocks down to the bottom. So that's how you can differentiate between the two. This one back here, this is a sweet birch or a black birch. You can tell it's a sweet birch by these. These are called lenticels in the bark. So they're just really skinny and the tree's kind of gray. That's how I tell it's a sweet birch. Some other trees, like cherry trees, they have the lenticels too. However, they're like really thick looking and the bark tends to be blockier and darker. So yeah, cool stuff around here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a little bit of foraging and picking, and I'll put together my beautiful bouquet. Thanks for identifying, Jordan.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Welcome back, and I have all my foraged finds here. I put them in some water so they wouldn't die before I made my art project. I went ahead and I added Art Nouveau inspired designs to my vase, and now I'm going to add these to this. To do so, I put a few holes up here right at the top of the vase, and I am going to add my foraged plants to those little holes. When you're making your holes, when you're trying to cut holes through cardboard, it can be a little dangerous with scissors. So if you're going to be adding the plant life through holes, make sure you get help from a grown-up. Don't try to force scissors through cardboard by yourself. So as we're doing this, I'm gonna go through and try to remember some of the identification that Miss Jordan gave us. So this was my May apple. I hope I'm remembering correctly. And they were growing all over the forest floor, especially by where the water was. So I'm gonna put this up here. I really like knowing what I'm picking, especially because I don't want to pick anything that might hurt the forest. So we only picked things that were either invasive or things that there were a lot of and are not endangered. So it was really nice having my forest technician friend with us today. I've got tiny little maple leaves here from the maple tree. And I'm gonna put those up here. I love that red color that they already have that Jordan pointed out to us. Now we didn't identify this, but I know this is a fern and I just love that shape. So I'm gonna put that up there. It gives us some height. And I found out that these will actually get really pretty flowers later in the spring. This was called a rattlesnake plantain, so I did learn something. I'm hoping that I got it correct. I'm gonna add that to my vase. I love the intricate little patterns throughout the leaves. And I'm gonna put that up here so you can really see it right in the middle. And I picked a dandelion because you can't have a spring bouquet without a dandelion. And then I have an American cherry tree growing outside of my window, so I plucked one of these. And I think this is really coming together. I have a couple fiddleheads here. They're so fuzzy. This is kind of what the fern looks like before it unfurls. So it's got very fuzzy little hairs all over it. I'll put that up there too. Oh, it's getting a little wet. That's okay, I used a Sharpie, so my ink shouldn't run. It'll dry. The next thing I'll do, and I'll do it on my own, and I'll take a picture for you all, but I'm going to color in some of these designs just to kind of brighten it up and give it, you know, a little diversity in its color there. So here's my spring bouquet, and I will go through and fix them up a little bit, but there you have it. And if you decide to go foraging in your yard or down your street, make sure you show us what you make. You can take a picture and you can put it on Facebook or Instagram and tag the museum, or you can send it directly to me through email. I'm educator@wcmfa.org. I can't wait to see what you make, and I hope you have fun on this Earth Day, and I hope you've been inspired by the world around you, just like the Art Nouveau artists. Thank you.